Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Missy, and today you were just following me around in the kitchen. It is a really rainy day here in Virginia, which is probably horrible for filming because the lighting is awful, but it's great for being in the kitchen. So we've been in the middle of a heat wave, so I haven't really done a lot in my kitchen, and my kitchen got invaded by ants. So I'm backed up with a lot of stuff that I wanted to do. So it is the morning, it is only 7 in the morning. Paul is awake, but he's just chilling in his room. Right there in the Instapot, I had yogurt going overnight. All I do is I take it's about a half a cup or a cup of yogurt from the last batch. I mix it with milk. I don't even heat it. I just put it right in the Instapot cold, mix it around, turn the yogurt button on, and I leave it overnight. So about, when did I put that in? I leave mine for like 12 hours is the way we like it. And it gets thick, it gets wonderful. That needs to go in the fridge. I also took out some eggs last night because I need to hard boil some eggs. We just had family visit this weekend, so I have extra stuff that I want to use up, like some bread left over from sandwiches. We don't usually, I know on the weekdays, I'm not a sandwich person, so I don't make sandwiches. The only time I really make sandwiches is peanut butter and jelly for Paul every once in a while. But I'm more of like a scavenger, or I'll have a salad for lunch, just not a big sandwich person. But sandwiches are great for having family over because it's a great cheap way to feed a lot of people. But then when we have them left over, I don't want it to go to waste. So I already took the bread and made sandwiches for Matt to use up all the lunch meat. So that's gone. I have like a third of a loaf of bread here, one random slice. So we're gonna do French toast this morning for breakfast. Whatever's left over, I'm gonna freeze it. And then I also took out English muffins for breakfast when my family was here, but it looks like only one was eaten. And I don't want this to go to waste either. So I am going to slice all these open, fill them with pizza sauce, some mozzarella cheese, and then I'm just gonna freeze them. And then we have pizza bagels frozen, ready to go. You can heat them up in the air fryer. I did a freezer meal on that a while ago. These are awesome staple to have, or just on like lazy days where you don't feel like doing anything or making a lunch, they're great for those. So I have that planned. And then what else did I want to do? I do need to make granola bars and fig bars because I am really trying to make my own snacks to make them healthier, and snacks are so expensive, especially with the cost of food. I used to make Lara bars all the time. My son is obsessed with them, so I'm going to try to make Lara bars. Maybe we'll do that today. I do need to make granola bars, but I think there are still some packaged ones in the pantry. I have to check. And then did I say I wanted to make ricotta cheese? I've actually never done it, but I've read before numerous times it's very, very easy. I have a very small eggplant from the CSA, and I just thought that a really cool thing would be to slice it really thin, cook it on the cast iron, then roll them up like little lasagna with ricotta cheese, egg, Parmesan cheese, Italian seasoning, cover it with red sauce, some mozzarella cheese on top. That to me sounded like that would be really good if my eggplant is still kicking, which it should be. I just got it last week, I think. So I think that's all the plan for today. Come spend the day with me in my kitchen. So Paul's awake. The first thing I'm going to do is just take this entire Instapot of yogurt, and I'm just gonna put it in my fridge. It's not hot, so it's not gonna bring down the temp of my fridge by any means. This is just what I do. I don't know if it was in the original recipe or not. I don't stir it or anything. I literally take it from the Instapot, and I'm gonna put that in the fridge, and then I'm gonna get going on our French toast. So let me get some eggs and stuff for that. So another thing that I'm going to use up is when my parents come here. I don't think we get this when Matt's parents come here. My dad likes half and half with his coffee, and I don't use half and half. So I'm gonna use some of this, there's a lot in here, in the egg dish, and then I'll just have to keep in mind of something else to use that with. Usually I end up being like some kind of pasta dish. I'll use half and half. Can't think of anything else to really use that in. But I try to use it up so I'm not throwing it away. And I also got at the grocery store at one point those little like half and half cups. My grocery store sells those with the coffee, and I thought that would be a great idea, and I got those. But then my dad didn't obviously use all of them because there was, I don't know, like 30 or 50 in a pack or something. But they don't last like uber long, which is kind of reassuring. So they ended up going bad, and I'd rather use this than all of those little cup things. So I'm gonna use that in just like a recipe I'm making up. Eggs, half and half, cinnamon, vanilla, a little bit of salt, and then I'm gonna cook these guys on the cast iron, either butter or ghee, I'm not really sure. And then I'll give him one. I guess I'll have one because it's really seedy bread. I'm gonna freeze the rest, and then that's easy to just pop in the toaster. 7 slices of bread, 2 ends here and an end here. We're gonna try to use all this up. I think Paul will eat that. I just gave him his smoothie. I made it yesterday, so sometimes he's just content with that. And I don't think I'm gonna get my hard-boiled eggs going until my daughter wakes up, and I fed her, because last time I started it like this time, I kind of forgot and they sat in Instapot for like 2 hours. They were totally fine. They did have like that gray ring. I know that drives some people nuts, but I don't want them to sit that long, so I'm gonna do them in a little bit. All right, French toast. Okay, so here's my breakfast. Here's the French toast that is done. This is a pretty big breakfast for a Tuesday. Usually this is more of something we have on the weekends, but that's okay. We're using up stuff. And then here is just what I had left over. I put it on a silk pad on a cookie sheet. I'm gonna put this in the freezer till it's frozen, and then I'll just put it in a silicone bag. And then I'm gonna reuse the same sheet to make the pizza bagels. So it's very loud in here. We're gonna go ahead and have some breakfast, have some Paul and mommy time till my daughter wakes up. So we'll do that because it's very loud. I'm coming. Mostly it's just regular chaos here, huh? Yeah. Okay, so as you saw, I took the French toast off my silk pat. It was frozen solid. I put that into a stasher bag. That's in the freezer. I did the English muffin pizzas. Those are in the freezer. As soon as those are frozen solid, I'll put those in the stasher bag as well. Everybody's up, it's loud. Yes, sir. I was hoping to get a little bit more done with Tilly in her little chair on the floor, but she's losing her mind. I have another 30 minutes till I feed her, so I'm gonna try to do this next thing with her on me. Paul's hitting up his snack stash over there. But anyway, English muffins are done. I just have to, once they're frozen, I'll put them in a stasher bag. I did check on the eggplant, and now that I think about it, I think I got that 2 weeks ago from the farm. So it is actually rotting on half of it, and it's not even a big one. It was like this big, so it's not even worth cutting around the rotten parts, so that was my fault. So that went in the compost, which is fine. So we are either gonna have Butcher Box, it's apple Gouda chicken sausages for dinner with like zucchini, or my mom cooked up a storm when she was here this weekend and we have a lot of leftovers. So we might do that as well. I'm not really sure. But I do wanna make ricotta cheese eventually. I am gonna do that, just not today. I have plans to make my own ricotta cheese and my own cream cheese. Both are super easy beginner cheeses to make. One day when she's a little older, I'd love to make like my own mozzarella. That would be fun. Because right now I get milk, I've talked about this before, from a farm down the street, but there is literally right down the street from me a farm that does cow shares. So in the state of Virginia where I live, you can't buy raw milk, but you can drink raw milk from your cow. So think of like timeshare, but with a cow. So you go in with a couple different people owning part of a cow, and then a farmer obviously takes care of it for you and does the milking and everything. And I just have to go pick it up. But to pick up weekly with these two monsters is just crazy for me right now. So I'm hoping to do that soon. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. The eggs are done, I heard them. I let them sit there for 5 minutes, and then what I'm gonna do is just take the basket. Actually, you know what, I'm not gonna do that because my sink is dirty. I'm just going to take the insert out, put it over by the sink, fill it with cold water, and completely cover it with ice, and then I'll come back to that and peel them whenever I get around to it. I am going to make little Lara bars. This is the Target knockoff that I'm trying to accomplish. They're basically little mini Lara bars, and this one is the chocolate chip cookie dough. I have been able to mimic most Lara bars. I've not tried the chocolate chip cookie dough, and I think what I'm going to do is use cashews and dates. That's really all Lara bars are, is a mix of nuts and dates, and you can make your own flavors really, and then dried fruit. So like the apple pie one, I'll use walnuts and some dried apple. Cinnamon is really good in that one, and then the dates, blend it all up, smush it down. But for the chocolate chip cookie dough, I figured cashews kind of like get a really creamy texture, and I really want to use these up. Technically they expired a couple days ago. Yeah, they expired July 5th. It's July 20th. These have just been sitting in my pantry forever. Matt was like, oh, I want cashews, get this big massive thing. And then he was eating like, I swear, like 2 every 5 months. So these have got to go. I'm gonna use these today, and I'm gonna use probably all of this. I think this is like 1.5 cups of nuts. And I'm going to probably about a cup. So do yourself a favor and get pitted dates. It's just easier. You can de-pit them very easily too, but this just makes the process easier. These are pitted, so I'm gonna smush a cup of them into a measuring cup. Then I'm gonna put them in a glass measuring cup, cover them with really, really hot water. It just makes them really easy to blend. And then I'm gonna add vanilla, salt, and then mini chocolate chips. And I'm gonna smush them. That's what I'm gonna hope to do. And hope that she lets me do this, right? Yeah. All right, so let's get going. I was so hoping to use these up, but I have a little extra. It's okay. I'm gonna make granola bars or something soon. I'll just chop them up and put them in those. So it takes a little bit of time, but this is the texture you want, and it rolls around like a dough. It definitely is easier with a food processor, but you can do it with a Vitamix like I do, and the Vitamix actually gets so hot that it heats it, and it makes it easier to spread. So I did not put the chocolate chips in now, and I'm gonna do that after it's done blending. So these have been sitting in the fridge and they are definitely firm. I expect them to be a little bit sticky. I'm using these, Matt got these to make burgers like a million years ago, and they just stay in the pantry thing. So I'm gonna use those just because these will be very sticky. So take the plastic wrap off. And I'm just going to go ahead and grease my knife a little bit because like I said, these are sticky. I knew they're going to be. And I'm going to cut them in what I think my toddler would like, which is basically the same size as the packaging, which are those Larabar minis, but you can cut them as big as you want. If it was just for me and my husband, I might just cut them this size and then go down this way so you have like bars. But I'm going to cut them into little squares and hope that they peel off. Well, I think that's everything I'm going to do today. Like I said, my eggplant was not good, so I'm not even gonna bother making the ricotta cheese, but I've made enough stuff today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up so I know. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.